Miami won the toss. They've elected to defer. So the Dolphins will kick it off with Dan Carpenter doing the honors. Jacoby Jones, who had a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown last year against Miami. We're underway here at Landshark Stadium. Jones on the return, stutter step. He got tripped up at the 20-yard line. Ryan Moats is in the backfield for Houston on a 3-receiver set. 1st and 10, just shy of the 24-yard line. Andre Johnson, the Miami native, goes in motion. They handle the pressure. Schaub throwing a high throw, and it's handled by Johnson. He's got a first down across the 35. Hit by Jeremiah Bell. It's a 13-yard gain. Right now, he is the best in the business, Andre Johnson.
Well, you better find out where Andre Johnson lines up on every snap, and they do a very good job moving him around. They'll put him in the slot. They actually put him in the backfield. They'll use a lot of motion with him so he can get off clean some of those press coverages at the line of scrimmage.
Leads the NFL in receiving yards, came in with 1,433 and 6 100-yard receiving games. Texans with a 1st and 10. Movement came from Joey Porter. Looks like a free play here for Houston as Johnson catches and turns it upfield. Andre Johnson forced out of bounds into Miami territory. Wide receiver screen goes for 25.
And it's no secret how they want to start this game. The Texans, they want to get the ball in the hands of Miami native Andre Johnson, whether it's the screen game, whether it's a throw on first down.
Defense number 55 in the neutral zone at the snap. Penalties declined. Play results in a first down.
Ron Winter, the referee here today. Channing Crowder just limped off the field. Penalty was against Joey Porter. And now the Texans have it with a 1st and 10 at the Miami 38-yard line.
And Matt Schaub is going to have to use the cadence today to slow down Joey Porter and Jason Taylor. Protection is going to be important. He can help that offensive line by mixing in some hard count.
Arian Foster is checked in, the rookie out of Tennessee. He'll get the call. Foster driving across the 35 and hit low by Kendall Langford here today. He fumbled the ball last week and then got benched by Kubiak. Handoff, Foster up the gut. Foster clutching the ball. You've got some veterans too with Bell and Wilson. On a 3rd and 4, crowd getting into it. Schaub in trouble. Schaub on a flip. Gets it out for Chris Brown, the 3rd down back. And Brown is banged down, short of a first down by Cameron Wake. He's in his first year from Penn State, formerly in the CFL. He was a defensive MVP there, and he's able to hold Houston on 3rd down. They have to try a field goal.
Yeah, you see the rush. Matt Schaub does a nice job being resourceful, kicking it out to Chris Brown, trying to give him a chance to make a play on 3rd down.
And now the other Chris Brown is on the field. 49-yard field goal attempt to give Houston the lead. Turk will hold it. Texans trying to get on the board. From 49 yards away, Brown, and he nails it with room to spare. And they get the field goal, 49-yarder for Chris Brown. On the kickoff, Ted Ginn. And forced out of bounds. Ginn being held down low, still trying to break free of Kevin Bentley as they exchange some words. And he believes his improvement has come in anticipating things that happen on the field, knowing where to go with the football, and just his overall ability to read defenses. Slings it out. Devon Bess. Handoff up the middle. Ricky Williams keeps the legs churning. Rookie out of New Mexico gets the start, along with Dante Robinson. Anthony Fasano sets up on the outside. He's the man in motion. New set of downs for Miami. Pitch is for Ricky Williams. And drilled. He got hammered by D'Amico Ryans in the backfield. Quinn helping out as well. It's going to go down as a loss of 4 on the running play.
Well, this is one area where they've really improved since week 3 is their run defense. You see D'Amico Ryans, he comes clean through the line of scrimmage there. Ricky Williams never anticipates it. They want to try and get out on the perimeter, get this defensive line moving a little bit, but boy, you got to find a way to get ahead on D'Amico Ryans.
Double tight end set with Fasano and Janos for Miami. Now facing a 2nd and 14. First possession of the day for the Dolphins. Henny, plenty of protection. On the out route to Fasano. And Fasano able to turn it into an 8-yard gain. Missed tackle there by Quinn initially. Anthony Fasano, now in his 4th year from Notre Dame, former Dallas Cowboy, and would be considered one of those Bill Parcells guys.
There are a lot of them. You look at this roster and you talk about Bill Parcells guys. And I'm not just talking about players, I'm talking about coaches, administrators, and
Parcells has done an incredible job with this team. Remember, 1-15 2 seasons ago. AFC East title last year. Henny throws and drills it for a first down. Ted Ginn. Texans claim they took the football away with Dante Robinson. If it's a clean catch, it's a first down out near midfield. Texans are trying to make their case that Ginn gave the football up to the veteran corner Robinson. It's forward progress, so they give him the first down.
He's just going to run a little hook route right there. Pretty good coverage by Dante Robinson. He's trying to strip that out. I don't know. That looked like it was coming out. I don't know if he ever really had possession. Look, he's trying to get possession of it.
Well, Miami gets to keep the football. They go to the line of scrimmage quickly. They trail 3-0. Handoff for Williams. And Williams goes down again. On a 2nd and 10, Camarillo goes in motion. Henny will set up the screen. Williams has some room to work. And Williams brought down as he crossed midfield into Houston territory. A 4-yard catch and run. Guess who? D'Amico Ryans over there once again defensively for the Texans.
They have much more speed on their defense. Certainly D'Amico Ryans, a guy that can run sideline to sideline. We've talked about Brian Cushing in the open, how important he has been, a Rookie of the Year candidate. A lot of speed back there, as well as the corner and safety position. This is where they've improved from a year ago.
Lex Hilliard has taken over that 3rd down role. Remember, Patrick Cobb's on IR with a knee injury. 6 defensive backs for Houston. 8th play of the drive. Opening drive for the Dolphins. Texans lead at 3-0. Henny, a floater and nobody home. He was hit as he threw the football. Brian Cushing supplying the heat on Chad Henny. And the Miami drive stalls right around midfield.
Here's where the Texans are going to attack today. They're going to attack the right side of the line of scrimmage. They want to go after Vernon Carey. They're going to do it a number of different ways. Here you see Brian Cushing. He's going to start him up the field and work back underneath. We're also going to see Mario Williams there. I think that's the weakness in the front. They want to go after right tackle Vernon Carey.
Brandon Fields will punt it. The dangerous Jacoby Jones is standing at his own 10-yard line. Fields averaging 46 yards per punt. Gets into this one, end over end. Jones is going to let it bounce, and it dies right near the goal line, but it didn't roll the way Miami wanted it to. Jason Allen, 1st and 10 for the Texans, 2nd possession of the day. From the 20, Schaub is sacked. Quentin Moses got him from behind.
Boy, you just see it's only a 5-step throw right here. You got Vontae Leash, a little bit of a mismatch on Quentin Moses. Matt Schaub holds the ball just 1 count too long. That's all it takes. You see the fullback gets beat right there. That ball has to come out on time against this Miami front 7.
First sack of the season for Moses in his 3rd year from Georgia. And a loss of 6 on the play. 2nd and 16. Johnson goes in motion. Schaub. On a low throw, it's handled by Ryan Moats, and Moats has room in front of him. Out in space, Ryan Moats diving out across the 30-yard line, chased down by Jason Taylor. It's a 16-yard gain and enough for a Houston first down.
This is amazing. 2nd and 16. You see the screen play do a good job drawing the rush. They have so many different screens, and they're a very good screen team because the offensive line can get out and run. They throw the screens to the running backs, the tight ends, as well as to the wide receivers.
Reggie Torbor had an opportunity to bring him down initially. Torbor is now in there for the injured Channing Crowder. Schaub is 4 for 4 for 55 yards. First down at the 30. On a handoff for Moats. Little juke move inside and not much room to work with. Kendall Langford makes the play. 2.5-yard gain, depending on the spot for Houston.
All right, I really look for Matt Schaub to throw the ball a bunch today. I mean, he's on fire right now. You better keep an eye if you're the 2 safeties for Miami, Jabril Wilson and Jeremiah Bell. My film study tells me they're very aggressive. In fact, they're nosy. They want to be up around the line of scrimmage where the action is. I think they're vulnerable to the big plays down the field.
On a 2nd and 8, Schaub. They handle the rush. Moats with a good grab and curls it upfield for extra yardage. Aiken Adell over there defensively. Ryan Moats has been a weapon so far. He picks up 14 in the passing game. And another first down for the Texans.
And this is a mismatch. When you get a guy like Ryan Moats matched up on some of these linebackers, Aiken Adell, they're going to win that battle every time. And Matt Schaub does a real nice job working through his progressions. He's going to start downfield with Andre Johnson and Kevin Walter, but if it's not there, he knows right where to go, and that's usually to the backs.
Moats had his best game of the year earlier this season in a victory at Buffalo when Steve Slayton was benched after fumbling. Schaub, play fake. Schaub throwing. And a strike to Jacoby Jones. Breaks the tackle. Jones out across the 20-yard line and brought down by Bell. The Houston Texans are shredding the Dolphins right now. 35-yard hookup.
We've already seen a number of missed tackles right here. You're going to see good protection. Schaub throws a nice comeback route on the boundary to Jacoby Jones. And look, there's a missed tackle by Vontae Davis. And we saw one earlier with Andre Johnson. These are big, strong, physical receivers. You have to find a way to get them on the ground.
Schaub now 6 of 6, 104 yards through the air. And they're in the red zone. A 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line for Houston. Pitch goes to the veteran Chris Brown. Brown looks for an opening, breaks the tackle. And Brown spun down inside the 10. That play looked dead at the line of scrimmage, and Chris Brown was able to find an opening. Charlie Anderson whiffed initially. It's a 9 or 10-yard gain. We'll see where they place the football.
Yeah, you can see the concern on Tony Sperano's face. Look, we're not tackling right here. Look at all the defenders around the line of scrimmage there. They have their hands on Chris Brown, but they can't get him down. You have to find a way to get off of blocks. They're not doing a good enough job right now, the Dolphins, getting off of blocks and making plays in space.
They give Brown a gain of 9, a 2nd and 1. Ball is placed just inside the 10. Texans with a 3-0 lead. Another handoff. This one is going towards the left, and Brown could not angle it for the necessary yardage. It's going to be very close. Philip Merling makes the stop for Miami.
Boy, they've really struggled this year, the Texans, short yardage and goal line situations. We talked about it in the open. They don't have that big back. Chris Brown has not been the back that can get him that tough yard inside. Schaub tried to sneak it last week against the Rams in a very similar situation, and yet on 4th down, and he came up short.
Arian Foster has come on. Offset eye in the backfield. 3rd and less than a yard. Motion man Dreesen. Handoff Foster. He's hit. And Foster is buried. Now what do you do if you're Kubiak? Joey Porter sliding over to make the play.
Well, there's no question Gary Kubiak is going to go for it. I think he's got confidence in this offense. But again, Ian, you and I talked about it. This is a team that has really struggled. They're not very strong in the middle at the center and guard position. Look at them getting walked back. Paul Soliai does a nice job pushing the center. Chris Myers into the backfield, and penetration is absolutely going to kill you in short yardage situations.
Remember the game at Arizona earlier this season? Houston couldn't punch it in to tie the game and lost to the Cardinals. 4th down for the Texans. Empty backfield. Schaub to throw it. A flip over the middle. Touchdown! Miami native Andre Johnson. The Texans take a 9-0 lead.
Well, if you're Miami, you better have a plan for Andre Johnson. You better find out where he lines up on every play, because he's going to have a big day. You see right here, they bring more than the Texans can block, but they get one-on-one coverage. Very difficult to cover Andre Johnson in the open field.
9th touchdown of the season for Andre Johnson. For Schaub, it's number 26. And a 9-play, 80-yard drive. Both teams 7-7, needing a win to stay in the playoff hunt in the AFC. Brown kicks it off. Returnable ball for Ginn. Ted Ginn had a pair of kickoff returns for touchdowns against the New York Jets. And that's been it. 1st and 10 from the 20 on the toss for Ricky Williams. Finds a running lane, and Williams is thrown down shy of the 30-yard line. It's an 8-yard gain. Brian Cushing making the tackle for Houston. How about Ricky Williams? At the age of 32, you're not supposed to be doing things like this. He goes over 1,000 yards in the absence of Ronnie Brown. Williams has taken on more responsibility in the running game.
Yeah, you know, when you watch the film, it doesn't seem to me that he's slowed down at all. He still runs with some power, good quickness.
That is Williams again. We saw the quickness on the first play, more power on the second play, but not powerful enough to get the 2 yards necessary for the first down. Sean Cody there to greet him defensively. It's going to set up 3rd and 1 now for Miami.
Well, Miami's a very physical team. I mean, everything starts with their running game, and that's what they're going to try and do. I mean, they've already rushed for over 2,000 yards. They have a huge commitment to running the football. Big challenge for the Texans defensively. They have to stop the run early in this game.
Williams sets up as a receiver, now shifts to the backfield. Henny on a bootleg, throwing, and incomplete. Corey Sperry, the intended target. And the Dolphins go 3 and out. Antonio Smith was applying the pressure on Henny.
Boy, if Chad Henne had a little bit more time, his tight end was wide open. You're going to see him right here. He's wide open. They drop him. They don't even cover him. He just doesn't have the time to set his feet. But boy, he had Anthony Fasano wide open down the field.
So after Houston had a long, impressive drive, Miami with a shaky effort on offense with a 3 and out. Brandon Fields punting to Jacoby Jones, backpedaling, and Jones catches cleanly at the 11. Now attacking to the 20, and a stutter step move. That's where he'll end up. 20-yard line. Flag is thrown with 36 seconds to go in this first quarter. Chris Clemens making the play on special teams. So we'll hear from Ron Winters. Got to make that long jog all the way down to the other side of the field. Very pleasant conditions, not overly warm. Temperature in the 70s. It is sunny, but not humid here in South Florida today. Houston with a 10-0 lead. It was a 60-yard punt and a 9-yard return. Both Sperano and Kubiak looking at this as an elimination game in the AFC playoff picture.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal block in the back. Number 35 of the return team. That penalty declined. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, contact out of bounds. Number 35. That penalty will be assessed half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick. First down.
Well, that's double trouble for Jacques Reeves. 1st and 10 from the 5-yard line for Houston. Ryan Moats in the backfield, and Moats working that right side for a 2-yard gain. Paul Soliai getting him down low to bring down Moats. 25 seconds left in this first quarter. 2nd and 8 for Houston as we start play in the second quarter. Both of these teams hoping to be part of the playoffs, but they need to get a win here to keep that hope alive. Outside for Joel Dreesen. Texans lost a good one in Owen Daniels during that Buffalo game earlier this season. IR with a torn ACL, right knee, back on November the 1st. Dreesen has slid into that starting role. That's a 21-yard gain for the tight end.
They do a good job picking Reggie Torber, the linebacker. They send Dreesen to the flat, and he can't get there because he has to fight his way through Kevin Walter and Andre Johnson, and that makes things difficult if you're a linebacker. And formationally, the Texans do a good job of giving you a number of different looks, so it's very difficult to zero in.
Schaub is 8 for 8, 135 yards. Over the middle and dropped by Walter. So first time today that Schaub has not been able to make the connection. And that probably was the easiest grab of the day so far for a Texan receiver.
Right, they actually blow the coverage. You're going to see both the rookies are running to the flat to cover Andre Johnson, and Kevin Walter is wide open on the slant. Matt Schaub just misses him on the back shoulder. That's a throw that he's got to make. Boy, we already see some confusion already out of these young corners.
On a 2nd and 10, quick snap, Schaub. He's got Dreesen again, and Dreesen with a big gainer into Miami territory. Reggie Torbor is having his problems, forced to step in on the first series for the injured Channing Crowder, and that one covers 22 yards.
You're just going to see him. He's just going to work right across the middle of the field. A little option route on the linebacker, and a good job by the Texans. They're going after Channing Crowder's replacement, Reggie Torbor, and he's really struggling in coverage.
Torbor, the former New York Giant, signed as a free agent last year. He was a key contributor for the Giants and won a Super Bowl with Big Blue. Give is to Foster. And Arian Foster out across the 45-yard line, brought down by Randy Starks. It's a 5-yard gain. Rich, as you know, when you go on the road, normally you don't feel a whole lot of love. Andre Johnson has an entire rooting section here in Miami. Johnson, before the season even started, recognized that he was going to need a lot of seats for this game. He bought 150 tickets for family and friends. There they are. I'm not sure you could tell that they were Andre Johnson
They
fans.
don't look all that excited right now, do they? I'll tell you what, it's going to be an expensive weekend for Andre Johnson with all those tickets.
2nd and 5. We'll check back with them when Johnson makes a catch. Job looking, Job pumping, throws, and caught by Jacoby Jones, breaking loose, and Jones angles his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Texans. Sean Smith unable to make the play for Miami, and the Houston Texans having their way with the Dolphins so far in the first half.
And it all starts with protection. Matt Schaub had plenty of time in the pocket to take 2 or 3 looks at this thing. He's got Andre Johnson working down the middle of the field. Look at all this time. He takes 2 or 3 hitches. He finally kicks it out there to Jacoby Jones. And you're not going to make this tackle. You give him that much room in the open field, very difficult for the safeties to make that play.
5th play of 20 or more yards already. We've got 12:41 to go in this first half. Chris Brown on for the extra point. And right now, Houston is drilling Miami. Jacoby Jones with the touchdown. And the kickoff from Chris Brown to Ted Ginn. Bounces at the 20. Fielded by Ginn, now working the sideline. And Ginn is forced out of bounds out across the 25-yard line against Tennessee. They forced overtime and lost the game 27-24. Henny knocked up in the air and intercepted. Brian Cushing with the pick. Nothing is going right for the Dolphins. Ricky Williams, the intended receiver. And for Cushing, his 4th interception of the season.
Well, it's been a point of emphasis. We talked about at the beginning of the game, ball security. They turned it over 7 times the last 2 weeks. I don't know if Ricky Williams sees this one. It comes out of a hole sometimes, but he's got to make that catch, and you just can't let a ball like this. Yeah, you got to make that one. Brian Cushing, you see him, he's right there to make the play. And well, this youngster, Ian, he has been all over the field this year. Look at that, 119 tackles, 3 sacks, interception, forced fumble. He had a safety. Just one of 3 players in the league to do all that.
So the Texans take over with a 1st and 10 inside the 30. Schaub slings it incomplete. Fullback Vontae Leach, the intended target. Well, JB, New England has a couple of things working for them right now. They can clinch the AFC East with that win over Jacksonville. They've got the lead, or a loss by Miami, and it's Houston in front, 17-0. Schaub throws it on the outside, breaking a tackle. Ryan Moats. And Moats has stepped forward here today in a elimination game, so to speak, for the Houston Texans. He's played well. 11 yards on the catch and run. Aiken Adell couldn't knock him down.
Boy, scary throw and catch, but we've seen this a number of times today. Miami is not doing a good job tackling in the open field. We've seen it with receivers and backs. You just can't throw your body around. Form tackling, very important in the open field against this Texan offense.
Moats heads to the Houston sideline. It's a 1st and 10 at the Miami 17. Arian Foster is checked in. Dreesen goes in motion. Foster gets the carry. Big hole, and Foster is gone. Touchdown, Houston. This is a rout in Miami.
And remember, this is a Houston offense that really struggles running the football. But boy, it seems like whatever they're doing right now, it's working. We've seen Ryan Moats make some plays. We've seen Arian Foster. It all starts up front. Watch the good movement up here on the offensive line. Does a nice job. Look how patient he is. You see the backside cut right there. The linebacker's not in position. No safeties to be found. Just a good zone run scheme by the Texans.
First career NFL touchdown for Arian Foster, the rookie out of Tennessee. From the 5. Miami looking for some kind of jolt here. Ginn able to remain on his feet to the 25-yard line, and that's where he stopped after the 20-yard return. They have 37 total yards so far. Ricky Williams flagged down as he bulldozes his way for a 4-yard gain. Penalty marker on the play, Ron Winter.
Illegal use of hands to the face, 72 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
So Vernon Carey picks up the penalty. We've seen some mixing and matching on the offensive line. Joe Berger, number 67, had been playing at center. Jake Grove is currently in there. And the quarterback comparison, there is none right now. It's all Matt Schaub. He's having a spectacular day.
Yeah, I'd say that's spectacular. 158.3, doesn't get much better. 11 of 13, 212. Chad Henne needs to get it going a little bit on offense.
Henne 4 of 7 for 27 yards, and the interception, it wasn't his fault. Give is to Williams again. And Williams with that strong effort to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's a 9-yard gain for Ricky Williams. Now, when we spoke with Tony Sperano earlier this week, we asked him about this being an elimination game, and he said, well, we put ourselves in this spot because of what happened last week against Tennessee. But he also added that there are a lot of teams that aren't in the position that the Dolphins are in. A meaningful game in December. That's been the message all week. From the way they performed, the message wasn't received. They trail 24-0. And a miscommunication. Henne throwing to Fasano. And D'Amico Ryans had the coverage. The linebacker was on the tight end.
I think Chad Henne had some time here. He's throwing this one really quick. The tight end's doesn't even have his head around. You got to give Anthony Fasano a chance. This is the problem with the young quarterback. These receivers, particularly tight ends and backs, they have to see the ball leave your hand. You can't expect the guy to run a little shoot route like that, turn around, and the ball already be in flight.
Henne was 4 of 4. He is now 0 for his last 4, including that pick. And a 4-receiver set on a 3rd and 11. Lex Hilliard is in for the Dolphins. Henne steps and he throws underneath. Drop ball by Devon Bess, who has been as good as anybody on 3rd downs. And that is a fairly good illustration of how this day is going for the Miami Dolphins.
It really is a surprise. The usually sure-handed Devon Bess, as you mentioned, Ian. This guy has been phenomenal on 3rd down situation, just running a little option route. He leads the AFC and he ranks 2nd in the NFL with 31 3rd down receptions. Can't get it done there.
4th down, Brandon Fields punting. Jacoby Jones standing at his own 25-yard line waiting for it. End over end, Jones moves forward and takes a Houston bounce at around the 35 and then touched up at the 37-yard line. Texans with a 1st and 10 just across the 35-yard line. They've got a 24-0 lead. A floater for Joel Dreesen. Boy, whatever Houston wants to do in the passing game, Miami has had no answers for. Joel Dreesen leaning in against Joey Porter. 18 yards. There's been no resistance from the Dolphins.
Keep an eye right here on Joey Porter. He's going to get picked. He can't fight through the route, and he's late getting there to the flat for the tight end. We've seen this a number of times today. The linebackers and corners not doing a good job communicating and passing things off at the line of scrimmage.
So another 1st down for Houston. 12 of them on the day. Miami has 2. Give is to Moats. Shake and bake move, and Moats finds a hole. Out across the 40-yard line for a 7-yard gain. It's been like Swiss cheese for this Miami defense, both against the run and against the pass. You saw Jason Taylor having words with the secondary earlier. Defensive line and linebackers struggling as well, Reg.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan has done a wonderful job with play selection, mixing things up. 10 runs, 15 passes, but when you can run the ball like this on 1st down and pick up 7 or 8 yards, boy, it makes it so much easier to call plays.
They're actually averaging 11 yards per play in this 1st half. Moats again, and maybe a step closer to a playoff berth. It would be the 1st in franchise history. Texans in the NFL for now their 8th year of existence. Fake the handoff. Schaub, look at the time. Schaub throwing, sideline route up in the air, and intercepted. Vontae Davis. In a matchup with Jacoby Jones, the question was he in bounds, and the officials are saying no.
What it does show you, Ian, is Vontae Davis's athleticism. Look at this ladder. Look at this vertical jump. I mean, he goes up right there. Jacoby Jones is a big receiver.
What do you think?
You got 1 foot in. I don't think that's going to count. I think his rear end hit the out of bounds, hit out of bounds before that 2nd foot came in.
The call on the field was an incomplete pass. Jacoby Jones saying, hey, that's my fault. Tony Sperano is going to challenge it.
On the field of an incomplete pass. The ruling on the field is confirmed. The defender with the ball in his possession got 1 foot inbounds His left hand hit out of bounds before the left foot hit inbound. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. Miami is charged for their first team timeout.
Alvonte Davis was bidding for his 5th interception of his rookie season out of Illinois, and it was very close.
Boy, great play though, but all for naught. You see right here, his left hand and his backside actually hit the ground before that other foot can get down in the field of play.
Well, the first sign today that Miami has been able to make a play defensively. Houston now faces a 2nd and 10. Schaub on a quick toss to Andre Johnson. And Johnson able to curl it upfield for a 9-yard gain. Andre Johnson, family and friends here at the game. He's got a suite, and he's got a bunch of his friends and family out in this section. Whoa, 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 who's that?
That's his uncle, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Uncle Arthur. He's the one guy that will not give up the Ricky Williams jersey, despite the fact that Andre bought the ticket to the game.
That's why I circled him.
That's wrong, no?
Amazing. Free ticket, he still won't wear a Texans jersey.
On a 3rd and 1. Handoff to Foster's got a first down. Arian Foster zigzags his way inside the 20-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup. We talked to Andre about that. He said his rookie year, his Uncle Arthur wore the Ricky Williams jersey, and Andre said, come on, I'm with the Texans now. He said, hey, I'm a fan. Fans are dedicated. You stick with your team no matter what.
You can't make that stuff up. I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with the way the Texans are running the football. I mean, keep in mind they're 31st coming into this game, just 86 yards a game on the ground. They're 2nd in passing, but boy, the way they're running it on the early downs is really going to help them later in this game.
Ryan Moats. And Moats will come up shy of the 10-yard line. Just under 7 minutes to go now in this first half. It's a 4-yard gain for Moats. Miami Dolphins needed 2 wins and 2 New England losses to win the division. Total yards for Houston. This is just mind-numbing. 300 for the Texans offense, 46 for Miami.
You know, it's amazing. Gary Kubiak gave him off on Friday. They looked really fresh here today. Gave him the opportunity to be at home on Christmas. And boy, they're paying him back here today.
2nd and 5. And a diving grab by Kevin Walter inside the 5. So another first down. That's a 9-yard pickup. Matt Schaub, his numbers are huge. 248 yards through the air and a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, the ball comes out so quick. He knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball. There's no indecision in his game. And as we said, Ian, he's in year 3 in the system under Gary Kubiak. It's slowed down for him. He understands the protections, the concept. He's playing much faster under center.
1st and goal for Houston. Chance to add to their lead. On a pitch from Moats, and he spilled out at the line of scrimmage. Philip Merling leading that charge. No gain on the play. Down to 5.5 remaining in this 2nd quarter. And a half that's been dominated by Gary Kubiak's team. They came in number 2 in the NFL in passing. They've lived up to that. But their running game, 31st in the league, tied with Indianapolis. Now, we know what the Colts have done this year. Even though they don't have a great running game, they've been able to balance it out, and they can disguise it with screen passes and things of that nature. But Houston has really struggled on the ground.
Well, they're not communicating well defensively. We've seen a number of players come on the field late for the Dolphins.
Schaub trying to do it himself, and he's brought down by Reggie Torborg. Though I didn't see anything that he liked in the end zone. And it's -1 on the rush for Matt Schaub. 3rd and goal for the Texans.
And he's going to be very cautious when he pulls the ball down to run. Keep in mind, he separated his shoulder 3 weeks ago. He's wearing a shoulder harness on that left shoulder, so he's going to be very smart when he has to pull the ball down.
We asked Matt Schaub how it's been this week. Big game for the Texans. He said, you know what, the guys have been loose, just excited about the opportunity to play a meaningful game in the month of December.
They got 12 guys on the field. Check this out. They can't get lined up defensively.
Timeout. Miami.
Shotgun for Schaub. Schaub looking to the right. Schaub throwing incomplete. There was double coverage over there as he was trying to force the football into David Anderson. Nate Jones defensively there for Miami. Field goal unit will come on for the Texans with 4:29 to play, first half.
Well, I thought Miami got away with one up front there. I thought there was a false start. You can see Matt Schaub was expecting it as well. A little movement on the right side of that defensive line. They're fortunate to get a break there.
Chris Brown, who connected on a 49-yarder to open things up. This is a much easier field goal for him. A chip shot of 22 yards for Brown. And he knocks it through to give Houston a 27-0 lead over the Miami Dolphins. 27-0, Texans in front. The Miami Dolphins were 9-5 at this point last year en route to a division title. Under Tony Sparano, 6-1 in December games. That one loss came last week to Tennessee. This has been a whitewash here today. Brown kicking off to Ted Ginn. And Ginn gallops to the 30-yard line. Glenn Martinez on special teams making the play. AFC playoff picture. Indianapolis, San Diego. They're locked in as the 1 and 2 seeds. New England with a win will win the AFC East. And there you see Baltimore and Denver controlling their own destiny. Miami and Houston bunched together at 7-7. Tennessee already out of the mix after the loss on Christmas night to the San Diego Chargers. Miami needs points. They need something positive before the end of this first half. And Ricky Williams is driven down by Amobi Okoye, talented third-year defensive tackle from Louisville.
You know what's lacking when you watch the Miami offense right now is the big plays. We've seen so many of them from Houston offensively, but Miami, they can't generate any big plays. They have to start taking some shots on first down.
The Texans, the only team the Dolphins have never beaten. Miami, an 0-3 start to begin the season. They won 5 of their next 7 to get back into the playoff chase. Dump off for Ricky Williams. And everything is underneath for Miami. There has been nothing down the field for the Dolphins. Cushing and Ryan's great linebacker combo collaborating to make that stop.
We always talk about getting your players involved in the game early. We haven't heard anything hardly from Camarillo or Hartline or Ginn or Best in the passing game. You see right there, offensive coordinator Dan Henning, you have your first 15 or 20, but boy, when the score gets out of control like this, 27-0 early, it really forces you to change on the fly.
Tight formation on a 3rd and 1. And Lou Polite gets the call, and he gets the first down. The fullback picks up 2 yards for the Dolphins. So they'll move the chains. Clock is moving as well. Dolphins have 1 timeout to work with, 2:52 and counting left in this first half. Houston with a big lead, 27-0 over Miami. Chad Henne, his 13th interception of the season, came earlier in this half. Really wasn't his fault. Came off Ricky Williams, picked off by Brian Cushing. Henne throwing, and he was looking for Hartline. Unable to make the connection. It's incomplete. 2:28 to go, first half.
Or they're just really struggling right now. And I think that you always talk about getting your quarterback off to a good start. How do you help him? Well, you got to get him some throws that he feels comfortable with. Right now, they're trying to jam some throws in under. You have flat defenders. It's very difficult to get those throws up and over. Got to help them. And the way you can help them, some of these receivers got to start getting open and making some plays in space for the young quarterback.
Well, we know in the past with Ronnie Brown, they had some options to get creative and use the Wildcat and generate yardage. Pump fake, and he will throw, checking off to Williams. It's incomplete. Another high throw from Chad Henne. And this offense has looked completely discombobulated in the first half.
And we talked about this earlier. When you throw to backs, you have to put it on them. You can't lead them. You can't throw high balls and expect they're going to make these plays in space. When you throw to tight ends and running backs, location is so important. You have to get them into the transition of the run.
And now a 3rd and 10 for the Dolphins. 2:22 to go, second quarter. Lex Hilliard is in, shotgun formation. Motion man Fasano. Moving pocket. Henne stops, plants, and throws a hot ball to Devon Best, but he's going to come up short of a first down. Took a shot from D'Amico Ryans, It is 4th and 1, and what do?
Oh, they go for it. You're down 27-0. You're a 7-7 football team that needs to win the next 2 weeks.
They need just a little less than a yard. Ricky Williams shifting, and it's the handoff going up the middle, and I don't think they got it. Miami needed about 3/4 of a yard, and they got to the line of scrimmage. That's it. D'Amico Ryan's making the play.
Well, they gave it to their short yardage back, Lou Polite. He's been very good this season. He's converted 14 of the 15 opportunities he's had in 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 situations.
They got a good spot, Rich. Out across midfield, and it might be enough. From this angle, it looks like he does have enough now.
Just run a little counterplay right back underneath, and well, I'll tell you what, Texans do a really nice job there stuffing that.
What do you think of that spot?
He made it. He didn't make it by much.
Yeah, he made it. You just saw the replay where they had him at midfield at the 50. Ball was placed on the other side of the 50 for Miami.
I think his helmet was on the other side of the 50, but the ball certainly wasn't. And he's very fortunate to get a good spot in that situation. Just watch where that ball is.
Well, he had the second effort. That gave him enough. So Miami has a first down here, and Henne working out of the gun. Underneath to Ricky Williams. And Williams makes a beeline for the perimeter. He's out of bounds. With 1:35 to go in this first half, and a 10-yard gain for Williams on the catch and run.
You got to give Chad Henne some credit. He's been very patient. Texans are playing a lot of zone coverages, 2-deep zone down the field, not giving him a lot of opportunities, doing the next best thing, checking it down to Ricky Williams and letting him go to work.
First down just inside the 40-yard line for Miami. Come in with the number 16 offense in the NFL, averaging 338 yards per game. They've been held under 100 so far. Camarillo finally gets in on the act. And Greg Camarillo diving forward across the 35, hit by Dominique Barber for a 6-yard gain. So Berger is back in at center. We've seen Berger, we've seen Grove, we've seen Garner out there on the offensive line. They've been rotating offensive linemen. Short drop. And leading Ricky Williams. And Williams is wrapped up at the 30-yard line by Brian Cushing.
You know, Ryan, we see each week where certain teams will roll different linemen through there, but never the center position. We've seen Berger in there. We've seen Jake Grove. It's almost as if they're putting Jake in there for the running plays and Joe Berger in there for the pass plays. Very unusual.
On a 3rd and 1, Henne does it himself, and it's a first down. Flags come down. Henne needed a yard. He got a couple.
Illegal motion. Offense number 81. A 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
That's Joey Hanos, the second-year tight end from Maryland. Massive target, 6'8", 270 pounds. Illegal shift.
Absolutely. No reason for it. You see him at the top of the screen. Just get lined up. It's a quarterback sneak. You have to know where you're at on the field, whether or not you need to be on or off the ball. Just a poor decision there by Joey Hanos.
Remember, Miami did defer to open the game, so they will have the football to start the second half. But they need points here with 1 minute to go in the second quarter. Henne straight back. Out to the flat, and Hanos. It's a first down for the Dolphins, 53 seconds remaining.
Well, they've been very good on 3rd down situations. You're just going to see a little flat route. They don't cover it. Corner's got to fall off in this situation, but we talked earlier, 48% on 3rd down conversions, a big reason why they're very good on the early downs, running the ball and keeping themselves in normal down and distances on 3rd down.
Number 2 in the NFL in that category. They're 3 of 7 on 3rd downs here this afternoon. But they trail 27-0 to Houston. Henne to throw, flag on the play, deep shot downfield, looking for Hartline, and it's incomplete. Hartline ran into one of the photographers.
Offside. Defense number 98. In the neutral zone for snap. A 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And that's situational pass rusher Connor Barwin, the rookie out of Cincinnati. And he clearly jumped on the right side of the Houston D-line.
Just a little aggressive. Boy, it looks like he got back, didn't it?
It did.
Boy, if you're Chad Henne, though, you got to give these receivers a chance. We see throwing the ball down the field out of bounds, out of the end zone. You got to give him a chance to go up and make a play.
Henne in his second year from Michigan, big arm. Not on the same page with Brian Hartline. Throwing towards the boundary, and Hartline ran an in route.
Yeah, this is not good to see in week 16 of the NFL season. Just not on the same page here in a critical situation, a critical part of the field, and well, they have not looked sharp offensively.
Miami has 93 yards of offense. Houston has 307. And Henne is 10 of 18 for 68 yards and a pick. Second down and 5 for the Dolphins. 42 seconds left in the first half. Williams by himself in the backfield. Henne pumping, throwing, end zone, too far for Camarillo.
Boy, he had him too. They run a double move. They have him. You got to give the receiver. Look at this. He goes right by him. Now just give him a ball he can catch. You can't overthrow him. But Chad Henne has got to give these receivers a chance to make a play. Too much air, too much trajectory on that throw.
Working one-on-one with Jacques Reeves, and Camarillo had his man beat. First 4 drives for the Dolphins, a grand total of 46 yards. They've topped that on this drive. They have 37 seconds to work with. 1 timeout remaining. 3rd and 5 for Miami.
Comes pressure right up the middle.
They handle it. Henne standing tall in the pocket. And throws a BB to Hartline. A first down for the Dolphins.
Really nice job by offensive coordinator Dan Henne. He calls a maximum protection. He keeps 8 players in the block, and he just sends 2 out in the route. He gives his young quarterback plenty of time to set his feet and make a good, accurate throw on the boundary to Brian Hartline.
Brian Hartline, a 2-year starter at Ohio State, 4th round pick. He's had a solid rookie season. 1st and goal now inside the 10.
A really nice job there again by Dan Henne, understanding situational football, knowing that in that situation, defensive coordinator Frank Bush was probably going to bring pressure.
Gary Kubiak uses a timeout with 31 seconds to play. It's been a tough one to watch, though, for Parcells or anybody associated with the Dolphins. They trail 27-0. This is the 15th play of the drive coming up. On the rollout, Henne. And he'll throw it away into the front row. Mario Williams and Amobi Okoye applying pressure on Chad Henne.
Well, I tell you what, Chad Henne, I don't think he ever felt Mario Williams there on the boundary, but a good job nonetheless throwing it away, not taking a sack in that situation. Okoye does a nice job trying to pull off there. That was close.
2nd and goal from the 9. 23 ticks of the clock left. Motion man is Janos. On 2nd down, Henne looking, end zone, and knocked away. Ted Ginn just short of the goal line. John Biesing getting a piece. For Houston, it's 3rd and goal for Miami with 17 seconds remaining.
Well, better throw there, might have gotten it done. This one looks like it's a little bit high. You got to keep them down in that part of the field. You got to protect the receivers. You got to see out in front of the throws. A lower throw there down around his waist really would have helped Ted Ginn.
On a 3rd and goal now for the Dolphins. Williams will shift out of the backfield. Henne steps, throws, incomplete. It's 4th down for the Dolphins. 12 seconds remaining. Antonio Smith that time got a little heat on Chad Henne. And Brandon Fields is going to come on. I should say Dan Carpenter for a field goal attempt.
You know, it's amazing. We talked with Coach Sperano this week. He said the biggest improvement Chad Henne has made, he's processing information faster, he's making better decisions. But to me right now, Ian, it looks like the game is going way too fast for him. He does not look comfortable under center.
Fields will hold it. And a timeout taken by Houston with 12 seconds remaining. From 27 yards away. Just trying to get Miami on the board. And he splits the uprights. It's 27-3. And if you're Miami and Houston, you recognize that it's not all on your shoulders, but to get the equation started, you've got to win and put pressure on some other teams. Put it on the ground. And Houston able to fall on top of it with 5 seconds remaining in this first half. Kevin Walter out front.
When you think about Miami, of the 5, 7, and 7 teams in the AFC, only the Dolphins are home for their final 2 games, and also the only team that can knock out 2 of their competitors, Houston today and Pittsburgh next week. So if this game ends the way it looks like it's going to end, would it just a wasted opportunity for the Dolphins to make this thing very interesting next week.
5 seconds left. Texans will take a knee here. And Houston has to feel good about itself. A 27-3 lead at the break. Chris Brown will kick it off. Ted Ginn is the deep man for Miami. We're underway in the second half. Both teams at 7-7. And Ginn loses the football. Ginn able to fall on top of it, though, and Miami will retain it just across the 20-yard line. That would have been a disastrous start to this third quarter.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what changes they make here in the second half. You see Ted Ginn, you got to take care of the ball in piles. Never saw that one coming. Good job scrapping it back up. But they got to change things up offensively. It's going to be interesting to see what they talked about, what changes they made here in the second half.
Xavier Adibi was the man who jarred it loose. So Miami opens up a 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. Fake the handoff, throw it to Devon Bess underneath. And a modest gain on first down for Bess. Now in his second year out of Hawaii. He's got 68 catches on the season. That one covers 3 yards. First half possessions for the Miami Dolphins. 3 punts, a pick, and the field goal at the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, not a lot to talk about. Part of the problem was they weren't good on first down. They got themselves behind in the down and distance, had some big numbers on third down.
2 penalties on each team so far. Ron Winter will fill us in.
Also man downfield, offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
And it's Vernon Carey, the starting right tackle. A Miami native, longest tenured member of the Dolphins offensive line.
Oh, just a little bit early. I don't want to say they're nitpicking. I thought maybe one of the defensive players grabbed Ricky, and
they'll back it up. 2nd and 12 now from the 19-yard line. 110 yards of offense for Miami. 306 for the Texans. Motion man Hanos. Fake the running play. Penny able to get rid of it. Lex Hilliard. He's got a first down. Hilliard working the perimeter. First year pro out of Montana. 6th round draft pick in 2008. He was on the practice squad last year for the Dolphins.
And Lex Hilliard getting more opportunities now. He should get a lot more in the second half of this game. He's probably a better option out of the backfield than is Ricky Williams in the passing game.
So line of scrimmage will now be the 37-yard line for Miami. Officially an 18-yard reception for Hilliard. And a pitch for Williams. And Williams thrown down by Brian Cushing, who lost his hat. Just underway in this third quarter. Houston with a 27-3 lead over the Miami Dolphins. Make the handoff. Passing play comes to this side, and he's replaced by Bryce McCain. So right now Houston has a pair of rookies playing cornerback with McCain and Quinn. Shotgun formation. Henne wants to run it. And Henne slipping through the middle, and he slides down at midfield for a first down.
Really good alert play by Chad Henne, recognizing it was 2 deep man coverage. When you have 2 deep man coverage, most of those linebackers have their backs to the line of scrimmage because they're locked up in coverage. Good awareness by the quarterback.
And that matches the longest run of the season for Henne, 12 yards. Once again from the gun, trying to get Camarillo out in space. And Camarillo is thrown down along the sideline. Brian Cushing among those over there to make the play for Houston.
That's nothing more than a run for them on first down. They kick those little one-man screens to the edge, to the perimeter, to guys like Camarillo and Hartline and Ginn, and try and get them one-on-one matchups.
Brian Cushing has been dealing with a foot injury. Give is to Ricky Williams. And Williams accelerating it across the 35-yard line for the Dolphins. Williams has got a first down for Miami. It's an 11-yard run.
Yeah, good movement up front. You see the centers and guards coming off, getting double teams on the nose. Jeff Scanina then doing a nice job peeling off and getting up on that second level.
Well, this is what Miami needed to start this second half. Moving the football. And the throw out to Ted Ginn. Another Dolphin first down to the 15-yard line. That pass play covers 17 yards.
And the no-huddle approach has helped. You see Chad Henne making it difficult for the Texans to get lined up, make substitutions. They needed to do something at halftime to change things up. The no-huddle so far has helped here in the third quarter.
Line of scrimmage is the 15. In stride. Brian Hartline. And a first and goal for the Dolphins inside the 5. Henne on this drive is 6 of 6.
And he looks so much more comfortable. The ball's coming out quick. He's been decisive. He's put it in good spots. We saw earlier in the game in the first half, he missed a number of throws. His accuracy much better here in the second half.
Some signs of life from this Miami offense. They ended the first half on a long drive, had to settle for a field goal. First drive of the second half. Jumbo formation, 3 tight ends. Him is to Williams, and Ricky Williams is stopped. D'Amico Ryans, part of that group defensively, and Williams is slow to get up. And the Dolphins with a second and goal now.
Good Chad Henne, this is 4-down territory. You got 3 shots from here. You know they'll go for it on 4th down.
From the 2, Henne to throw. Henne incomplete. Hartline, the intended receiver. Dante Robinson back on the field for Houston. It'll be 3rd and goal for the Dolphins.
Again, a lower throw here might get it done. You see how high this is? And Chad Henne has missed a number of throws high. You have to keep it in the framework of their body.
Pat White has come on. They'll run the wild Pat on a 3rd and goal. They've had to change things offensively in the absence of Ronnie Brown. White getting an opportunity here. It's a running play. And a touchdown! Lex Hilliard! Dan Carpenter on for the extra point to make it 27-10. Texans, 12 plays, 79 yards. Second half, and it pays off with a touchdown run from Lex Hilliard. Houston has a 27-10 lead. Carpenter kicking off to Jacoby Jones. On a 1st and 10 for Houston. From the 20, Anderson, the motion man. Shaw throwing over the middle for Andre Johnson, and that quiets the crowd, at least most of the sections of the crowd. Johnson over 1,500 yards receiving back-to-back years for the great Andre Johnson, the 3-time Pro Bowler, a gifted receiver.
I tell you, he is phenomenal, Ian. He tracks the ball so well, strong hands. He catches the ball away from his body. Great leaping ability, can stop on a dime. Great with the ball after the catch. As good as there is in the game right now.
First down for Houston. Schaub looking to throw again. And Schaub underneath, wrestling for the football. Kevin Walter and Vontae Davis. It'll belong to the receiver, Walter, for a 7-yard gain. Andre Johnson going back-to-back 1,500 yards. Only the 2nd man in NFL history to ever accomplish that. Marvin Harrison, the other. He did it back in 01 and 02.
Andre Johnson really works for his catches. Whether or not he has the ball in his hands, he's very active, very strong, even good in the running game, willing to go in there and block safeties. A very unselfish player.
And you think, where's Jerry Rice? He missed it by 1 yard, 1,499. Big hole. Arian Foster busting through it for a first down. Key block from Chris Myers up front for the Texans. And again, Houston just moving the ball with ease against this Miami D.
I'm really surprised by the Miami front 7. They're not doing a good job getting off of blocks. We already talked about the poor tackling, but keep in mind, as we mentioned in the first half, this is not an offense that has run the ball particularly well this season. But so far here today, they've had a lot of success against this Dolphins front 7.
And Miami doing it without Channing Crowder. Foot injury, return questionable. We haven't seen him since the first series of the game. Handoff to Ryan Moats. And hit over by Kendall Langford to limit Moats to a gain of 1. Taylor in there as well. 2nd and 9 now for Houston.
Look at that production right there. That's a pretty clean page, isn't it? Field goal, touchdown, 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 field goal, the end of the half. It's a pretty good report card. And that guy right there, Kyle Shanahan, has done a wonderful job with play selection in this ball game.
2nd and 9 for the Texans. 7:28 and counting left in the 3rd. Texans trying to move to 8-7 on the season. Schaub knocked up in the air and picked off. Intercepted by Jeremiah Bell. Into Houston territory, and Bell is cut down inside the 35.
And this is what they needed to do. They needed to change the momentum in the second half. How do you do that? You get the opening kickoff, you drive the length of the field, and you score on offense, and then you come right back and get a big turnover on defense.
But now dealing with an injury along the sideline.
Boy, deflected balls are never a good thing if you're a quarterback. You see right here, good job by Kendall Langford. He gets his hands on it, and Jeremiah Bell is right there for the easy interception. Does a nice job here at the end protecting the ball. You see David Anderson, he comes in, he tries to strip it out.
And it is Bell who was down on the play. Ricky Williams, questionable return with a shoulder injury, so Lex Hilliard is now in there for Miami. On a 1st and 10 inside the 35. Play fake, look out! Chad Henne is mauled. Bernard Pollard. It's a loss of 7 on the play.
Well, he never felt the safety on the backside. You're going to see Pollard. He's going to come from the other side of the screen. He's right the end man on the line of scrimmage. They try to turn the line that way, but the tight end does not do a good job. Joey Hanos gets beat back up inside. You can't let him beat you across your face. Very nice play by Bernard Pollard.
Pollard got the sack. Zach Dials helped him out, though. Terrific vision by Dials. Incomplete in the area of Devon Bess, who's looking for a flag. And Vernon Carey slow to get up, but he is up on his feet for Miami.
You keep trying to throw these screens on the early downs to Devon Bess and to some of these receivers, but Houston's done a nice job. They're doing a much better job at the line of scrimmage, getting some penetration through that initial block.
What is Miami missing on this offense? To me, it's been pretty clear.
They don't have a big play receiver. That's what they miss. The guy they thought was going to be that guy was Ted Ginn. He is not. You think about Andre Johnson and the plays he makes on the other side of the field. They don't have that player here offensively.
3rd and 17. And Henne makes the connection to Lex Hilliard. It's well short of a first down. It's a 4-yard gain. Brian Cushing was all over the running back. And now you're looking at a 54-yard field goal attempt. And they're going to try it. You know, Tony Sperano sending Carpenter onto the field.
Well, they know the points they can get. You know, you mentioned the big play threat that they don't have. Devon Bess is their leading receiver right now. He's got 66 catches coming into today's game.
He averages less than 10 yards per reception. From 54 yards away, Fields will hold it. Carpenter. No good. Andre Johnson, the Miami native, 5 catches, 71 yards. He's gone over 1,500 yards for the 2nd consecutive season. Handoff to Arian Foster. All right, JB, thanks very much. Cincinnati at 9-5, looking to get the double-digit victories on the year. It's been a very trying year for the Bengals. Arian Foster able to curl it up the middle and very close to first down yardage. It's a 7-yard gain for Foster. The Texans took over after the missed field goal at the 44-yard line, Rich. Matt Schaub, when he threw the interception, they had it at the 44-yard line. So Miami got the football back, and ultimately nothing came of it with the missed field goal.
Real nice job by their defense. A sudden change. They go out there, they force a stop, they get the ball right back for their offense.
Trying to convert on a 3rd and 1. Foster gets the call. Foster, second effort. Texans believe they've got enough for the first down. It's all going to depend on the spot for Houston and Arian Foster.
This is an area of their offense they need to spend a lot of time at in the offseason. Short yardage and goal line offense, they have not been very efficient. We've seen it a bunch of times this year. They just run the ball, the stretch play to the right, but not a lot of movement up front. Not a lot of space for the back to stick it up in there and get a yard. Just watch the right side of that line. Good job by Langford and Soliai getting good push up inside. You see right there, Eric Winston a little high. He's playing high. His pads are too high. His pad level, you have to get down to get some movement from that group up front. They're going to be short.
Oof. They gave it to him.
Well, they need to get the momentum back a little bit, and certainly Miami with the score to start the second half and then a turnover. Houston has to answer. Put a big drive together here. Even a field goal would be beneficial.
Andre Johnson, he was drafted in 2003, Houston's second year of existence, the Texans, and he told us yesterday, in his eyes, biggest game in franchise history. Trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Shaw, play fake, throwing, deep ball, Johnson knocked upstairs and dropped. Should have been an interception. Jabril Wilson. Jeremiah Bell was the man who deflected it.
Yeah, what an unbelievable opportunity. You got to find a way to make this play if you're Jabril Wilson. Just 18 takeaways this year by the Miami Dolphin defense. They don't get their hands on a lot of balls, but when they do, they can't make a play. That's 29th in the league. It's a big problem for this defense. They don't take the ball away enough and create short fields and scoring opportunities for that offense.
Sean Smith got a piece of it, and it was tailor-made for Jabril Wilson. Ryan Mokes on the pass. Aiken Adell over there, a penalty marker on the play.
You have an illegal man downfield. It's going to be Chris White. He was way downfield on that screen.
So Houston certainly not as crisp as they were in the first half. 3:54 remaining in the third quarter.
Illegal shift. Offense. Two-man movie did not set prior to the snap. That penalty decline makes it third down.
Now that game, of course, affects this game as well because these two teams are in the same boat. Schaub throwing. And a fumble. Chris Brown had it knocked free. They may rule the whole play incomplete. Did Brown actually have possession on the catch?
Regardless, watch this hit. I think he does. Clearly he has possession. What a great hit by Vontae Davis. You talk about ball extraction. This is something they've worked on all week. The Houston backs have had a hard time holding on to the ball. Clearly that's a fumble.
And Sperano's going to challenge it. He's thrown the red flag.
A pass ruled incomplete on the field is not a play that can be reviewed. Therefore, Miami is not charged with a timeout. It's an incomplete pass, makes it fourth down.
Well, again, that's the point. If they rule the play dead because it's ruled incomplete, whatever happens after the incompletion becomes irrelevant.
Yeah, that's the rule, but clearly he catches this ball here, and you see he's got it, he's tucked it away, he's starting to run forward. He never feels Vontae Davis come in there. Boy, the Dolphins got the short end of the stick there.
They did. Completely unfair because that was a clean catch from Brown and should have been a fumble handed over to Miami. Either way, Dolphins are getting the football. On fourth down, the punt from Turk to Devon Bess and a fair catch at the 11-yard line. You're looking at the difference of about 30 yards. They would have had it right around the 40-yard line. So no challenge. And no harm in terms of what happened for Chris Brown because it was ruled incomplete.
Clearly that's one that will get sent to Mike Pereira, the director of officials, on Monday. And you talk about field position, you talk about momentum in the game. That was huge for the Dolphins.
And because the pass was ruled incomplete, the officials can't review it. First and 10 at the 11-yard line for Miami. Henny to throw. Gets rid of it. And too high for Lou Polite. the fullback. Miami dealing with injuries. Channing Crowder on the defensive side of the ball, a foot injury. Offensive, Ricky Williams, a shoulder injury.
It's been a season of dealing with injuries for the Dolphins and having to adjust. And think about, you lose Chad Pennington, guy that completed 65%, very few turnovers. You lose Ronnie Brown, a 1,000-yard rusher, and the guy who really handles all the mechanisms of the Wildcat, Patrick Cobbs as well. Now today, you're without Ricky Williams here in the second half.
Shotgun formation for Henne with his team down 27-10. And nobody home on the pass to Devon Bess. Pennington went out with a shoulder injury on September the 28th against San Diego. Ricky Brown, surgery to repair a fracture in his right foot back in November, both placed on IR.
Very difficult for the Dolphins to change gears. They've run the ball 14 times. They've thrown it 35. That's very atypical for this group. And they don't have the personnel, as we mentioned earlier, Iron, to spread you out and throw the ball down the field 35 or 40 times in a game.
On a 3rd and 10 now, Henne. Plenty of protection, throws over the middle, and it's complete to Lex Hilliard. And a spin move out across the 20-yard line, very close to a first down. Tried to extend his arms. He was hit by D'Amico Ryans, and it will be enough.
What they've done throughout the course of the day is throw the ball underneath and hope the backs and tight ends can rally for the first down. I just think some point here in the second half, you got to let Chad Henne play. You're going to have to open things up, attack these corners and safeties, make these defenders play, challenge them. Take some shots on first down.
Earlier in the week, Dan Henning, offensive coordinator, telling us that they've had to reinvent themselves offensively since Ricky Brown went down. Ronnie Brown back in week 10. Henne throwing out to the far side and a flag thrown. Mario Williams with the pressure. He's come close on a couple of occasions. And looked like a hold.
Holding. Defense number 29. 5-yard penalty and a first down.
Glover Quinn called on the penalty. Rookie out of New Mexico.
You got to find out about Quinn. You got to find. He's a rookie as well. We got to challenge him. We can't leave the field today and not take shots at number 29. I'm Chad Henne. That's what I'm thinking. I got to take some shots down the field and go after some of these corners.
Jacques Reeves is in there. Dante Robinson as well. Henne to throw. And short route to Lex Hilliard. Close to first down yardage. It's an 8-yard gain. Dante Robinson there to touch him up. Hilliard, 4 catches, 41 yards. And Hilliard, good second effort. Lou Polite. Normally a short yardage option. Henne, tip ball, incomplete. Trying to fire it to Camarillo. And tight defense there, Bernard Pollard for Houston. 1:18 to go in the 3rd.
Well, conditioning will not be a problem for the Dolphins. They're a very well-conditioned team. See right here, doesn't feel the linebacker inside. It's a good thing that was a bad throw, or D'Amico Ryans would have been right there for an easy interception. But this is a team that has worn down opponents late in games. The highest second half time of possession is the Dolphins. That's because they run it so well. Now they're getting to throw it here a bunch in the 3rd quarter.
Texans crowding the line here. Here they come. Moving pocket. Henne steps. Home run ball. Henne down the field and caught. Touchdown, Ted Ginn on the go route.
Tripping. Offense number 36. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
You talk about the pendulum of emotions for the Miami Dolphins. They thought they were right back in this game.
Watch the leg whip right there. And
Lou Polite.
He's doing the best. That's too bad because that was a wonderful throw by Chad Henne. He put air on it. He put it right in front of both safeties and just a great, we talked about taking some shots, going after this secondary. They get it done right there, but of course the penalty brings it back.
The trip against Connor Barwin. Four penalties, and it's cost the Dolphins 30 yards. None bigger than that one. Long pass play for a touchdown, negated. 2nd and 20. And he checks off underneath to Polite. And Polite dives to the 35-yard line for a 7-yard pickup. Jacques Reeves combining with Quinn to bring him down. Under a minute to go now in this third quarter. Houston holding on to a 27-10 lead against Miami. Dolphins rallied last week, forced overtime against Tennessee, and then a Henne pick. Michael Griffin with the interception. Penalty on the play against Camarillo gave them 15 more yards, Tennessee, and then Barones kicked a field goal to win it in OT. Shotgun formation. Henne to Hilliard, and Hilliard just bounced off of Brian Cushing. That's a 9-yard gain, and it brings up 4th down. During the break, Tony Sperano and the Dolphins coaches talked it over, and the punting unit is on the field with Brandon Fields for Miami. First play of this fourth quarter, punting to Jacoby Jones, fair catch. Just underway here in the fourth quarter, the Houston Texans and the Miami Dolphins, both teams at 7-7, both teams needing wins to stay in the playoff chase in the AFC. Handoff for Houston to Arian Foster, scored his first NFL touchdown earlier, taking it up the gut for 6 yards. Yeah, certainly coming into this game, Rich, a lot of the focus defensively for Miami, Jason Taylor, Joey Porter. How would Houston deal with those two big names? So far, so good for Houston.
They've done a wonderful job. They had a protection plan in place. You have to do that when you consider that Joey Porter and Jason Taylor have 218.5 sacks combined. Two of the better edge rushers in the game, but that offensive line for the Texans has done a fine job today, not only running the ball, but in terms of pass protection.
10 Pro Bowls combined as well. Foster makes a cut, and Arian Foster has a first down across the 20-yard line. He's pumped up a 6-yard gain. Boy, oh boy, Cincinnati walking a fine line there as they were trying to take care of their own business here in Week 16. Tied at 10 with Kansas City. 27-10, Houston leading Miami here. And it's Foster veering for a 3-yard gain. Philip Merling over there to make the play defensively. Down to 13-18 left in this fourth quarter. And again, Houston, they don't have big names running the football right now. They've done enough on the ground. 105 yards rushing for the Texans, 260 through the air.
It's amazing what they're doing now defensively, Miami. They don't want Andre Johnson to beat him. He's getting double covered on almost every snap.
Johnson at the top of the screen on a 2nd and 7. Schaub doesn't even look in that direction. Instead, he goes to Kevin Walter. So Schaub will take what Miami gives him. Vontae Davis with the coverage. Walter comes up short of a first down by a couple. 6-yard gain. Sets up 3rd and short now for the Texans.
Watch this, you're getting press coverage here, but what they're doing is they're going to roll this safety over late, right at the snap. So Matt Schaub is not even looking to his left because each and every snap, Andre Johnson is getting doubled. And after what he did in the first half, I think that makes some sense.
Johnson on the day, 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Last week he went for a $196. Schaub throwing, and too high for Anderson. Texans are forced to punt. And the Dolphins defense does its job here in the early stages of the fourth quarter. Remember, missed field goal by Miami and a touchdown that was called back. You might be looking at a 27-20 game right now.
Remember what we talked about at the beginning of the game, the fact that the Texans had a very difficult time putting two halves of football together. They're struggling here, and clearly Miami has come out and played much better football defensively here in the second half.
The punt from the veteran Matt Turk, a former member of the Dolphins. Devon Bess ranges over. He catches at the 18. And Bess, that would be their best ever road record in franchise history. Previous best was 4-4 in 04. Henne up for grabs and caught by Ginn. Ted Ginn hauls it in at the 39-yard line, and Miami still has a pulse here, a 35-yard hookup.
Wow, nice adjustment here by Ted Ginn. It's an underthrown ball because Chad Henne is getting pressured in the pocket by Mario Williams, but a really nice adjustment there by Ted Ginn.
Injury update, Justin Smiley, knee injury for Miami. And Dominique Barber, hamstring injury, he is done for the day. On first down, Henny looking. Will check it off. And spilled out is Lex Hilliard after the gain of 2. He was hit by Bernard Pollard. Houston with a 27-10 lead over Miami. Oh, what a catch! Devon Bess, acrobatic grab by the second-year wideout from Hawaii.
Nice job by Chad Henne giving him a chance, but look at this adjustment in midair by Devon Bess. And this is what you need. You need some of these players to step up and make big plays at crunch time to give yourself a chance to get back in this game.
15-yard reception, Henne in the pocket, throws it. And Brian Hartline is stuffed right away by D'Amico Ryans. Forward progress will give him a gain of 6. And the clock is moving here in the fourth quarter.
The Texans are not playing a lot of man-to-man coverage, a lot of two-deep zone. They're really forcing Chad Henne to work the ball underneath to those backs and those crossing routes.
Miami has thrown the ball 44 times today. This is a running play for Lex Hilliard. And they have caught Houston napping as Hilliard's got a first down at the 10-yard line.
Miami looks like the much more aggressive team here in the second half. A little draw right up inside to Lex Hilliard. Good job by the receivers and even the tight ends getting involved there, getting up on the second level, taking some hits off the back.
First and goal now for the Dolphins. Henne from the gun. Henne throws, wide open, Hilliard jogs into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. And the Dolphins are clawing back into it.
Really nice drive there by Chad Henne. Very efficient, a lot like the first drive in the third quarter. Taking what the defense will give you. Good job checking it down, getting it to the backs, letting them go to work.
6 plays, 74 yards, and a quick touchdown drive by the Dolphins. It took 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Dan Carpenter on for the extra point. And the Miami Dolphins within striking distance, 27-17. Houston in front. Carpenter kicking it off. Jacoby Jones returning it. And Jones is brought down as he crossed the 20-yard line for Houston by Eric Walden on special teams. It's a 22-yard return.
Matt Schaub and the boys need to find a way to get a couple first downs. Jumpstart this offense. It's been all Miami defense here in the second half.
On a first and 10 from the 22. Just over 9 minutes to play. Take the handoff. Schaub, plenty of time. Schaub out of the pocket, and he throws to Joel Dreesen, the tight end. Dreesen out across the 25-yard line. And Randy Starks leading that defensive charge for Miami. Call it a 2nd and 6 now for the Texans.
Have to find a way to get Andre Johnson going, and they're going to double cover him. You have to find a way to move him around. Line him up in the slot, short motion him, give him some stack releases, line him up in the bunch. This guy's got to get his hands on the ball here in the fourth quarter.
Second down, crowd has come alive here in South Florida. Ryan Moats unable to slice through. He's limited to a gain of 1. Paul Soliai making that play defensively for the Dolphins. And it's 3rd and 5 coming up for Houston. Mark Anthony urging on the fans here in Miami. J-Lo among them.
Well, it's no time to get conservative to Matt Schaub.
Third and 5. From the gun. Schaub floats it and caught by Anderson. That'll quiet the crowd. A first down for Houston.
Boy, David Anderson, he's very good at these routes. They start him outside. He works right back inside. A high throw, but David Anderson's able to make the catch. They do a good job defeating man-to-man.
So a new set of downs for the Texans to work with. Clock ticking away. 7:25 and counting left in the fourth. running play for Foster, the rookie. He fumbled last week in the victory over St. Louis. Secures the football. Jason Taylor with a tackle. It's a 4-yard gain.
That's the most important thing right now. If you're one of these backs for the Texans, you got to take care of the football. You know, Miami has been working on ball extraction all week, trying to get the ball out of the hands of some of these backs. Kubiak has been very sensitive with his running back situation. They've all coughed it up this season and talked to us in the meeting about both these backs taking care of the football in piles.
Second and 6 now for the Texans. Dreesen goes in motion. Schaub lets it fly. Incomplete. Trying to hit Jacoby Jones. It'll be 3rd down for Houston. Vontae Davis in coverage for Miami.
Vontae Davis has really come on here in the second half. Pretty nice job. Good recovery there. He's able to get that left hand in right at the last moment. But I've been impressed with him. You know, he's given up some big plays this year, but he continues to battle back and make plays late in games.
Texans have never finished with a winning record in their 8-year history. They've never made the playoffs. Even with a win, they could be eliminated today if Denver, Baltimore, and Cincinnati win. Huge play here on a 3rd and 6. Dime package for Miami. Texans lead by 10. 6.5 to go. Schaub pump fake. Schaub incomplete. In the vicinity of Andre Johnson, Randy Starks made it difficult for Matt Schaub to get rid of the football cleanly. And the Texans will punt it here in the 4th.
Well, they run 2 crossing routes, and it's a nice job picking it off and making sure that they're in coverage. But the man-to-man coverage on 3rd down has really helped the Dolphins here in the 4th quarter.
The 41-year-old Matt Turk, 3-time Pro Bowler, punting to Devon Bess. We have 6:27 remaining.
A really nice job by the Dolphins defense in the second half, Ian. They forced him to 3 punts and got an interception.
No rush. High punt. Spiraling kick from Turk. And Bess will catch it. Last week, similar situation. They were able to force overtime, eventually lost to Tennessee. They trail by 10 with just over 6 minutes to play. And Henne is dumped. Back at the 11-yard line, Brian Cushing. I don't know if you can give out the award right now.
Go ahead, give it to him.
He's Defensive Rookie of the Year, no?
He really is. He's had a fantastic season. Leads the team in tackles, bunch of sacks, tackles for losses, 4 interceptions. Phenomenal rookie campaign.
2nd and long, Henne. Good catch made there by Hilliard as he crosses the 20-yard line. They'll face a 3rd down after the 9-yard pickup. D'Amico Ryans makes another tackle for Houston. We have under 6 minutes to go now. Texans 27, Dolphins 17. A loss here for the Miami Dolphins, and the percentages basically are nil for them to make the playoffs. Henne throwing, out route, incomplete, Devon Bess. The intended receiver as Henne took a shot from Antonio Smith. And now it's 4th down for Miami. Brandon Fields coming on, the punter.
Well, he's working all the way back across the formation. He's late with the throw. And the one thing when I studied Chad Henne, he's got so much confidence in his arm. Every throw, he really feels like he has to muscle in it, muscle the throw in there. I think he's got to learn to take a little pace off the throw.
Jacoby Jones is waiting. And that sack to open up the drive just absolutely killed the Dolphins. Jones makes his move upfield. And a spin. Jones isn't going down. So now the Houston Texans with 5:08 to go. They are in control here if they can put together some 1st downs. Hand off to Arian Foster, and Foster is spilled out at the 26, a 3-yard pickup. Kendall Langford will get credit for the tackle. Timeout situation, Miami has all 3 remaining. They've just used one of them. With 5:03 to go, they stop the clock.
If you're Gary Kubiak now, you're just thinking about 1st downs, ways to make some 1st downs, milk this clock a little bit, force Tony Sperano to use some of these timeouts. Bobby Bowden had a wonderful career at Florida State, won a lot of football games down there.
2nd and 7 now for the Texans. 5:03 to go in the 4th. Foster, single setback. Foster looks for an opening, not much there, as Foster picks up a yard on the play. Adele and Porter combined to bring down Arian Foster. And another timeout called by Miami. They've got one remaining. They still have the 2-minute warning. 4:57 left in the fourth. Well, coming in, we knew what was at stake here. Tony Sperano's team 7-7. Gary Kubiak's team 7-7. Baltimore and Denver in the driver's seat at 8-6. Jacksonville has lost. They're 7-8. So say goodnight to the Jaguars, who were able to stay in this thing for a while, probably longer than most people anticipated coming into the season. Jets have Indianapolis coming up today, and Miami has the Pittsburgh Steelers on their schedule next week. Houston will be home for New England. What will that game mean for the Patriots? And what will it mean for the Houston Texans if they move to 8-7? And the possibility of a playoff spot at stake, depending on how much help they get. 3rd and 6. Shaw. Throw too high. Now, every time the Texans have had a chance to either put this game away or really put the pressure on Miami, leaving them little time on the clock, they haven't been able to come through.
And the Texans, we've seen it a number of times this year on. They've not been able to put two halves of football together. And offensively, they look like a much different team here in the second half. I don't know if it's just a question of the Texans not being on the same page in terms of the timing and rhythm of the passing game, or just Miami playing much better defensively here in the second half.
Those 3 downs took 16 seconds. And Matt Turk, fortunate to get a Houston roll. And Devon Bess backed away.
Surprised Devon Bess didn't come up and try and make a play on that ball.
So 4:39 to go. The Dolphins trail the Texans 27-17. And Miami gets the football with a 1st and 10 at the 22. And he's straight back. Rush is coming, and another first down sack. Combination of Smith and Scanina.
Well, you think about Jeff Scanina. He's been in the league 16 years out of Purdue. He still can rush the passer. Guy that's willing to go in there and do the dirty work, but
a loss of 8 yards, an absolute crusher for the Dolphins. Out route to Ted Ginn. He hauls it in, short of a first down. 14 yards, stops the clock with 4:20 to play in the fourth quarter.
We talked with Tony Sperano the other day, and he talked about the difference. Chad Pennington, who've been in all these situations, he said every time Chad Henne goes out, it's a learning situation for him. It's the first time, and we've gone through kind of growing pains with this guy. They really think he's got a very bright future, though.
On a 3rd and 4 now for Miami. Henne throws, and it's Bess making the catch for a first down. Dependable Devon Bess, 12-yard pickup.
You're going to see Quinn. He's right here. He just never looks and finds the ball. Nice job by Devon Bess. He's made a number of difficult catches today. Good job by Chad Henne, giving him a chance in that situation.
5 catches, 45 yards for Bess. Line of scrimmage is now the 40-yard line. Henne with 282 yards through the air. Down to 4:14 remaining. 10-point differential. Henne from the gun. Throws it underneath to Ted Ginn, and Ginn goes down quickly out across the 45-yard line for a 7-yard pickup. Clock is moving. We'll hit the 4-minute mark.
Here we get another change. You see Vernon Carey's going to come out of the game. Jake Grove's going to come into the game. Going to shift that offensive line. Look at this. Like musical chairs. Center goes in. The other center goes to left guard. They move the left guard to right tackle.
From the gun, Henne, and dropped over the middle by Fasano. 3rd and 3 for the Dolphins. 3:40 left to play.
Chad Henne has to learn to take a little something off some of his throws. He throws a very firm ball, sometimes too firm, and it's difficult to catch. And he has to learn. We talked about pace on some of his throws. He's got such a strong arm, but you have to learn to be able to throw it with some pace at times for these tight ends and backs so that they can make the catch. They're hard catches to make, particularly when you're throwing at a sea of humanity. It's hard to even see the ball come out.
First half, complete domination from the Houston Texans. Second half, Miami has been able to work its way back in. Play clock was winding down, and the Dolphins are forced to use their final timeout. So it's Grove and Berger both on the offensive line after the timeout. Hilliard goes in motion on a 3rd and 3. Henne, first down. Joey Janos into Houston territory. Dolphins continue to keep this one interesting with 3:28 to play.
They really have to pick the pace up. They're out of timeouts. They're behind by 2 scores. They really have to get a number of plays called quickly here.
And a 4-receiver set on a 1st and 10 for the Dolphins. Henne throwing, and he dropped it in the bucket for Camarillo. Out of bounds across the 30-yard line. That one covers 18 yards for the Dolphins.
This is a big-time throw from Chad Henne. We talked about the guy having a lot of confidence in his arm. Look at that. He sticks it in there between the corner and the safety right on the boundary. Great throw. Great job getting it up and down before that safety Beeson can come over and make the play.
316 yards passing for Henne. He had 349 last week, but he had 3 interceptions against Tennessee. Henne with 1 pick here this afternoon. 3:11 to go. Make the handoff. Henne.
Gotta get out of bounds.
And Hilliard is thrown down by Dials. Clock continues to move. We are under 3 minutes to play now.
And the problem with the passing game for Henne today, he's thrown it 53 times. Ian, that's too much. We talk about that pitch count being so important. And you also talked about this team's not built to throw it that many times. Just don't have the personnel yet at the wide receiver position to be able to do that.
Now the clock should have stopped because Hilliard got to the sideline. So they will put time back on. Hilliard was ruled out of bounds. Yeah, Hilliard was going down, and they ruled him out of bounds. Ricky Williams is back in for Miami, and Henne throwing to Williams, and he's hit immediately by Brian Cushing.
Well, you can see Ricky. These guys are gutting it out. They're giving you everything they have.
And he's playing with a shoulder injury as Williams will head to the sideline, replaced by Lex Hilliard. We have 2:42 left in the 4th. Houston with a 27-17 lead over Miami. Henne, timing pattern, incomplete. He was trying to stick it in to Joey Janos out along the sideline.
That player right there, Bernard Pollard, he has been a stabilizing force in this secondary. You see it's double coverage. The corner knows he has help over the top, and there's Pollard that comes in late.
Well, Rich, they need 2 scores, so Miami is looking at it as at some point they're going to have to get the field goal. Might as well do it here.
That's the right call. You kick it here, you kick an onside kick. And
Dan Carpenter on. 38-yard attempt here for Miami. And Carpenter hits to cut into the Houston lead.
You got 2 receivers right here. Anderson and Kevin Walter up top.
Fields. And it's handled by Houston at the 40.
It's nice to have a guy like Kevin Walter, all 6'3" of them. Nice job. They get the kick that they want. It gets up real high in the air. Nice job by Brandon Fields, but that's why you have a receiver like Walter on the field that can make that play. Good job by the group up front, getting some blocks so that Walter doesn't get blown up.
If they stop them cold here, Miami would get the football back with about 30 to 35 seconds left. 2:29 to go. Texans take over with a 1st and 10 at the Miami 41-yard line. Walter goes in motion. And off for Arian Foster. He's got a crease. And Foster spun down at the 35. He picks up 6 yards on 1st down. Clock is moving, and this will carry it to the 2-minute warning. Texans have the football with a 2nd and 4 at the Dolphins' 35-yard line. Miami has no timeouts remaining. A 1st down for the Texans, and it's over. Arian Foster, 90 yards rushing, the rookie from Tennessee. Handoff to Foster. And Foster driven backwards. He got an initial push. They'll give him a gain of 1 on forward progress. Tony McDaniel making the play. And now here's your game for the Miami Dolphins on a 3rd down and 3 coming up for Houston.
It's amazing when you look at the Texans' schedule this year. They lost 4 straight in November, the first week in December, and that's a lot to overcome. You know, other than that, they played really solid football this year. It'll be a shame if they don't make the playoffs, and still looking for the first ever winning season.
8-8 each of the last 2 years under Gary Kubiak. Trying to stay in the playoff hunt. On a 3rd and 3 for the Texans. Handoff, Foster, and bangs his way inside the 30. First down, Houston. Chris Myers and Chris White, key blocks up front. The Houston Texans will move to 8-7 and will knock off the Miami Dolphins here in Week 16.
Boy, this backside, the wind back, they've done a nice job with this zone run. The backs have been patient to cut it backside. They picked up some big yards today. Dolphins did not do a good job defending that run.
40 seconds left. And victory formation here for Houston. A battle of 7-7 teams. And it is the Houston Texans emerging to move to 8-7. And they keep their playoff dreams alive here in 2009.